gentlemen, our Oklahoma trip has officially begun on track. Got the black 18T here behind me, and we are pitted at the Heart of Oklahoma Raceway. We're in the back building here, so actually if you turn, this is part of the pit area, and if you walk actually this way, there's a whole nother building full of cars, and then there's another building, or like half, full of more cars. So between the 14 divisions we have here for the 2023 Manufacturers Throwdown, they are all combined, and we are getting ready to rip. So this is the first night of 3. It's really broken up, so here we're getting ready to go out and hot lap here in just a little bit. The black 18T all ready to go, dragging 2,000 miles away from home. We're gonna go out and hot lap, and then we're gonna qualify later. And in between that, they're gonna run a bunch of different classes and kind of start the weekend program. And then tomorrow we'll run a heat race and a qualifier, and then the $5,000 to win main event on Saturday. So looking forward to it, pumped to get out this way. We're racing against a pretty much 95% of the field we've probably never ran against before, so a new crowd of competition, and we're just gonna kind of see where the 18T stacks up. So we're gonna be heading out for hot laps in just a little bit, but in the meantime we're gonna watch the racetrack. This place is extremely banked, kind of see what it does, if it starts slicking it off, if they keep it tacky, and kind of just prepare for a big 3 nights here in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
It's like you're cutting it too much. You need to go a little higher and then shoot.
I was kind of just trying to stay out of the dust. You don't really get much of a hot lap session there.
Well, look at her video. Look at your video.
Yeah. All right, so we just
feel fast.
I mean, this is impossible to tell without lap times. It feels like you're going really slow out there. So we just got done with hot laps. Like I said, we didn't get much of a session. It's basically green, white, checkered. I think in total I maybe got 2.5 around there. First lap I kind of took it easy, and the second one I tried to actually send it, and I almost like kind of spun out. Like I told you guys, we have to run these hard right rear tires, which just makes it icy out there. It's like you can't move around too much if you get caught up in the dust. It's really easy to spin. So basically now we're just rolling into qualifying later. It kind of sucks we don't have a little bit more of a chance to play with the car, but I think I know what we need to do. Basically, if it's slick like that, the track's slow, and you're not really getting a lot of power to the ground, so I think we're really gonna have to find unique ways to maybe tighten it up and just get a little bit more rear drive, but I do think it's gonna be better slicker than hooked up. I can see how it could get really fast. I was kind of running right through the middle. Maybe I need to move up a little bit, but I was just kind of trying to, you know, open up my corner and shoot off through the banking and never really get too high on a flat spot, but we'll get a chance to kind of move around throughout the weekend. I feel pretty good with where we're starting. We just qualified here for the Manufacturers Throwdown. Granted, qualifying doesn't really matter because all it does is line you up for your heat race, but we basically just got screwed. I don't know how else to call it. We were the 36th car to roll out, and they literally, which is about the halfway point, right? But after 35 cars, they stopped us and they watered the track, and then it was super greasy. So they didn't throw a lot of water on, but still, that's not the point. They threw water on the racetrack halfway through qualifying. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are we doing? This is not fair. How's this fair to me and fair to the next 5 guys behind me? So I'm like 13th or 14th right now, so I was okay, but I still was on I mean, like I said, not like it was juiced up, but it was just slime. There was slime in certain spots. I can hear my wheels spinning. There's nothing I can do. They tried to go out and pack it for a couple laps, but that's just, that's crap. I don't know how else to say it. Don't do that. You don't do that ever in racing. Once you start qualifying, unless they're going to put us, I guess, completely in a separate flight, but even at that, because like I said, they threw water on and they barely packed packed it in and sent me out, and then my fate was sealed. So anyway, that's we're gonna see where we end up, and like luckily qualifying doesn't matter too much. It really just puts you in a heat race position, but still extremely frustrating because I didn't get a chance to see where I stacked up. So it is now the next day, and we are going to complete all the activities for this Friday. I feel much better now. You know, I kind of had a chance to think on last night, and you know, now it's just water under a bridge. Regardless of my thoughts, you know, what happened, and nothing's gonna change. And now we gotta focus on this heat race and be thankful too that there wasn't any points involved with qualifying. And now we're gonna start front row outside. We ended up qualifying, I believe, 24th. So we're still in the front half of the field, and we made the invert, and they do a complete ASCS passing points format, which means if I can win this upcoming heat from the front row outside starting position, I will get 105. 100 points for winning and 5 points for passing technically one car. And also this morning I made a bunch of changes to the car. You know, this racing surface, it's just so sandy and hard to make grip, and if you can't make grip throughout the corner, you lose corner speed, and then that just hurts your lap time in general. So we played with our ride heights here in the back. We're gonna change air pressure, we changed gears, so we actually made a lot more adjustments than normal, but I feel really confident with where we're gonna be at. So now our goal, we gotta win this heat race. It's a must, because if we can do that, then we'll be set up well for a qualifier later this evening. But gonna fire up, head on out, and give these guys what we got.
Money.
Really?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I look really good.
I think the restarts are phenomenal.
Dude, the restarts are perfect.
I don't think you were checked out, but they're not going to.
So nothing really changed. Great heat race for us. Just wanted to kind of check and see where you're at after those 8 laps. You know, the whole video I've kind of been probably frustrated just because I haven't got a chance to test and see where I'm at, and I finally got to there. I'm actually glad I was on the front row of the heat race. I kind of needed that. And didn't get the lead initially, but on the restart, worked the bottom, got a good slide job, kind of went back and forth for a lap and a half, and then from there I was able kind of just to set sail out front. This place was really slick. I thought it was great for the heats. I feel like I could have worked down low and I could have worked towards the top, and you kind of just have to move around and build momentum. And finally, once we changed some stuff on this thing, we have some drive. Like when I'm off the gas, the car's still driving. That's a big thing. When you get off, if you're stalled out, that doesn't help because you have to keep momentum and corner speed. So when I'm off the gas, I feel like the car's still going forward and I can maneuver. So we're gonna make a couple very, very small adjustments, and we're gonna be ready for a qualifier later, and we'll have to see what kind of track we get. So it's dark out now. It's been several hours since we've hit the track, and we probably have a little bit more time. The racetrack's back in that building, and our pit area is actually in the building behind me. What's up next is our qualifier, which is very important. So after our heat race run, we are now sitting 7th in points with 105, and we are starting second row inside for our qualifier if what my race pass shows is correct, which means the most we can get here if we go 3rd to 1st is 110. And I think if we do that, that should give us a pretty good shot being the first 2 rows of the 50 lapper tomorrow. So that's my goal. We're gonna have to get up on the wheel. They just worked the racetrack, but we still have more heats in between, and the 250s also have to go for their qualifiers. So I'm hoping maybe they won't touch it and we'll kind of blow back off, because they really did farm it and brought a lot of grip back, and now the times are, you know, much quicker. But if it slicks off, we should be able to do our thing, make our race car just a tiny bit better, and try to position ourselves, you know, as good as we can for the $5,000 finale tomorrow. Well, that feels pretty good. 3rd to 1st in the qualifier. I can officially say I literally did everything I could do today with our qualifying run. Won the heat race from the outside pole and went 3rd to 1st there in that 12 laps. Had a ton of yellows, tried to move around, tried to run the top, but the racetrack ended up just being really good down low, and one of the cars behind me kept showing his nose, and finally I was like, if I don't protect, I'm actually going to go backwards here instead of having a shot at winning. And then one restart, I got a good run on the leader, and I just was running a tiny bit lower than him in the grip where he was kind of keeping momentum, and he was just spinning his tires so bad on exit, I kind of finally was able to just drive straight down the straightaway while he was kind of like opening up the corner and just get underneath him. And then for like a lap we were probably side by side, and from there, once I got the lead, I was able to check out. The race car is money though. It wasn't great up top, but I think it was just so dirty, and then once I moved down low, I'm like, you just know sometimes when you're gripped up and going and no one's gonna drive by you, and that's exactly how I felt. So we're gonna see where we shake out. I don't think we're gonna be the high point car, but hopefully we stay in the top 5, lock into the show tomorrow, and just keep trying to fine tune, and hopefully they have something to shake up the front couple of rows so we can work our way towards the pole position.
Well, I couldn't end today's video without showing you how the racetrack ended the night.
I felt like this place was close to prime. You know, I haven't ran here before, you know, I don't know what it's normally like, but it really slicked off, and guys were working down low on the bottom, guys were really pounding the top, and our qualifier there at the bottom obviously was very good and probably a little bit better. So maybe if the bottom, you know, just had that much less speed to where you couldn't really stick it, if it was just a little harder to run, I think the racetrack would have been so two-laned, and even you could have moved around and maybe even worked the middle as it just kind of started to clean off.
And as a driver, something like this is all we ask for. Just a little bit down low, slick, 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 something to lean on for the guys that are absolutely crazy and trying to knock the boards down.
My style's more of a slow and slick and more around the bottom, but there was a lot of guys that were just sending it up here. So feel like every style was kind of out on the racetrack, and glad we were able to do all we had to do today, you know, with the 2nd to 1st in the heat race, 3rd to 1st there in the qualifier, and we basically maximized our points going into tomorrow's show. So hopefully we're in a great position. We have a shot at $5,000. We have a shot at the extra $2,500 in lap money. And more importantly, just being honest, my confidence is up. I feel great behind the wheel, and I actually feel so much better just about my car. I feel like there was a lot of question marks earlier in this weekend as I just didn't get a chance to see where we stacked up, didn't get to qualify great, but finally once I got to race around other cars, I saw the speed we had, and I knew we were going to be fast. But as a driver, it's nice when you can look at the lap times and look at my race pass and prove it to yourself as you're pulling away and you're able to pass some, you know, other fast locals in the area that run here all the time.
So we're gonna get some rest. Everything we used from our notebook to make the 18T better worked.
And now all we can do is show up tomorrow and give it all we got for all that money. So thank you guys so much for watching. I would say our Oklahoma trip is off to a great start. We do need to finish the Outlaw Kart portion, and we want to do that in Victory Lane, and then we will have our eyes set on the Chili Bowl. Now with all this, guys, don't forget we are on a journey to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is our goal, and we're starting off with so much racing action here. So if you guys want to ride along with us throughout the whole season, make sure to subscribe, and we will see you throughout the rest of the week with a bunch of Oklahoma vlogs. See you all in the next one. Deuces.